Exploit blockchain.
Today I will talk you about short history of EOS bugs, fixes, crashes, forks, and testing in the jungle testnet. And probably we will have time to discuss open question about stability of EOS blockchain. Sorry for my not perfect English. I'm still learning it. Excuse me for my mistakes. First of all, I would like to thank you, Dmitry Budorin and HackIT, for this invitation and for organizing this amazing evening. So thank you. We are a Crypto Alliance. We are a block producer, EOS blocks producer based in Ukraine. Our office is in Lviv. It's a very nice West Ukraine city. And we supporting EOS from March. Building different software tools, preparing the hardware infrastructure to support this chain, and sharing our technologies in the community. And everything, it begins in jungles. So it was probably end of February, beginning of the March, when my co-founder and friend Roman told me about EOS, and I started investigation. What is this? How this blockchain works? It was early down 2 version, and I started simple local node and started do some experiments, some transaction, yeah. And think why not to create a public testnet and see how it will work when we will have a lot of nodes and it will be really decentralized. But down 2 version was very limited. The limits were like the predefined producers, which should be defined in the Genesis file and use it for the chain generation, chain start, and was impossible to change later. So it was like the chain where all producers was predefined on the start. And the second thing was the problem with transaction synchronization, as in the decentralized network, transaction doesn't work at all. It only works on the local node on the one computer. So at that time, Jungles wasn't the first test network. It was 2 different. The first was the superhero test network organized by Eric from Sweden, and the second was Scalar test network. But this old test network was just doing the synchronization by empty blocks, so the blocks without any transaction. And it was the time where the block 1 prepared the new version, down 3, and this version wasn't released, and no one know how to start this version, because this version was first version which have the implementation of BIOS contract and system contract, and predefined producers in the Genesis file doesn't work anymore. So no one was able to start the system, and we were the first who started Jungles on the down 3 version. This version allows us to change the producer list, the schedule list, using the BIOS contract, and we start new testings. All this time we create a lot of scripts, a lot of documentation on the Steemit, on the GitHub, and share it all with our community. And also the Jungles played a big role in the start of the mainnet. So we have the amazing support from the block 1 from first day of testing. Dan Larimer connected to the Jungle test network on the May. And here is some remarkable screenshots. Like here Dan said that they testing first secure transaction from iPhone in EOS. Here Dan Larimer suggests to use Jungle as a test network. here is the presentation the USI, and they show our monitor, which displays the chain state. And this nice picture with Dan Larimer and Thomas Cox was made on the block producer panel before the mainnet launch. They said thank you to us for providing the monitor, which will help to test and understand how it works. So, but it wasn't so easy. We have a lot of crashes, a lot of bugs found there, and important bugs I will share with you what we found there. This was fun story about how we broke Jungle's test network twice a row, 11 days before the EOS 1.0 release, which was used for the mainnet start. And the story was that with few of producers, we decided to make the transaction party, to make the stress test for the network and see how much transaction we can send through the network. So we started this party. Few of block producers connected to us. It was EOS Barcelona, UK 42, EOS Dublin, EOS Argentina, and others. By the way, there is the nice article describing this whole situation from EOS Metal on the Steemit. So if you are interested, you can read it more detailed. And we started this transaction party. We delegated EOS to this test account. And in 2 hours, we get all chain red. Notice was desynced, a lot of crashes. And we were not able to sync chain again. And this time, Dan Larimer came to us with help. He recommended to use new experimental plugin. It was named Bnet, which allows to sync nodes in the multi-threading. But it wasn't helpful for us much. We spent around 24 hours to repair the chain. But the problem was in the wrong resource allocation of CPU, and when we put a lot of transaction from different places, it just burned the CPU to 100% and not as crashed. Next day, Block 1 came with the solution, with the fix of this problem, and we restarted the Jungle chain from the scratch. For that time, it was started procedure to reset chain once a week, once a million block, because there were a lot of new version that was not supporting the old one. And on the new version next day, it was better. We have more transaction. And this first test was okay, but we decided to make hardcore transaction party. And we put max possible data into memo, in the transaction memo field. It was possible to put 20 kilobytes, as I remember that time. And when we start this transaction, shortly the chain crashed again. This was finding the bug in the P2P plugin, and it was very fast resolved by Block 1, and on the 22 May, we get the new version, and it works better, and we get the new record, 662 transactions per second. After that, we have a lot of different problems in the net that saved the mainnet before. So this was very simple problem. It was the misconfiguration of the wrong configuration of the Node software. There was the problem with RAM allocation, the size of the state folder that represent the RAM. And when the chain start using more RAM that was allocated in this config, all nodes crashed. It was unknown for us, so it was helped to not get the same problem in the main net. 24 July, it was already mainnet started, 1 month as it was working. There was big bug found by Prospector Sites, the nice blockchain developer team based in Lviv. And they found very critical issue and kill it. They tried this bug on the junglers and just killed junglers with one action. So they have the possibility to kill the mainnet, but they didn't use it and asked me to connect them with Block 1 company and share this bug for without any reward, just to keep EOS stable. The bug was very interesting because they started testing the deferred transaction, and they found the way how to make a ticker inside the contract. They create the different transaction and then to the same contract, and when the time comes to this transaction, they cancel it and create the new one. And this was the way how to create the ticker inside the contract. A nice solution, I really like it. But on the canceling this transaction, there was the bug with the syncing, and it was caused just the crashing all the nodes in the one moment. Probably a few hours was Block 1 need to sync this problem, but it was not very easy solution. Also, we have a lot of other problems, like the schedule problem update. In the EOS, producers producing in the schedule. So the schedule is built by the system contract based on the shareholders' votes. And there was a special case when the schedule can't be approved, and it was changing all the time. So this bug was found in jungles and immediately fixed, and didn't appear in the jungle in the main net. One of the amazing experience we had in the jungles also was the one attack that we had. Someone used our faucet to generate around 60 million EOS jungle tokens. It was for free. There was no limitation. There was limitation in time, but no captcha or something like that. So they used the script to make a lot of accounts and generate 60 million tokens, and use it to vote for the bad producers, the new correctly producers that have no software and cannot produce blocks. So the testnet just stopped it, froze it, and we were able to do nothing. And we used this opportunity to try to fork jungles. We returned to previously made backup. It was 12 hours before the hack. And build a trusted peers between producers who will join us to make this fork. Use private peer case to do not allow others to connect and make a fork in this our new created fork. Use the checkpoints to select right fork, and check locked transaction, because as we returned to the backup 12 hours before, some transaction between backup and fork hack was lost. So this was a nice experience that shows that we can recover jungles after some test EOS blockchain after some problems like this. And also we found the way how we can do this better in the next cases. We can not use backup, but we can resync blockchain till poisoned block and do not lost transaction. And Dan Larimer said that everyone should vote for at least 15 producers to keep chain stable and secure. Because in EOS there is 21 block producers, and if 7 of 21 will be down, the chain will be not grow. So there will be no confirmation, no confirmed transaction. To simplify testing, we create together with other teams, HKOS, Block Matrix, EOS Sweden, EOS Seoul, EOS DAC, SHIELS. EOS Test Cave is the automatic testing framework. It helped to test EOS on each update and found different bugs or issues that can appear and can not be detectable on the manual testing. Also, we are working on the different other EOS projects. One of them is Deru.io, is the truth-bound project for EOS. EOS Network Monitor is a project that shows the chain state of EOS, the node state, how they are synced, who is producing, who is on the right chain, who is on the what version, and so on. Jungle Crypto Alliance is our testnet where you can learn when you can start in EOS, use the scripts and our knowledges. Rochambeau, it's the fun project just to learn and show the example of usage. The blockchain is open sourced. Rock, paper, scissors game based on the blockchain. Yeah. So there is a smart contract and the front and our open sources, so you can see and learn how to write simple contracts. Also, we have different other tools like history, API plugins, different Telegram bots to monitor the EOS chain, and different testing scripts. That's all for me. So thank you for your attention, and I will be glad to answer your question.
HackIT. Exploit blockchain.